Hi guys, today I wanted to do a sit down vlog video. I don't even remember the last time I've done one of these. It's been way too long, but I hope you guys have been enjoying my Lindsay's life vlogs on this channel. But I really did just want to sit down today and just kind of talk to you guys, because I love just not having really what I'm gonna say planned. I mean, I don't plan what I'm gonna say ever, but I just don't really know. I mean, I know, okay, this is just already starting off bad. I'm just already rambling. Anyway, I'm going to do a vlog today about my first quarter of college, because I am home on my break now. As you can probably tell, I'm in my bedroom in Georgia because I'm home visiting my family and things for my first break from school, and I really just wanted to talk about it. You might be like, okay, what kind of break are you on right now? Are you on fall break? What are you on? So my school is run on a quarter system, which is most colleges do not do a quarter system. By the way, I go to FIDM. I'm okay with saying it. It's really not that big of a deal. I go to FIDM in LA, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, and my major is Beauty Industry Merchandising and Marketing. And my school, FIDM, is run on a quarter system. So what that means is you go to school year-round, but you have breaks. So a quarter is 10 weeks, and we have 4 quarters in the year, and then after 10 weeks you have about a 2.5, 3-week break. It's somewhere around there. So you go for 10 weeks, have that break, go for 10 weeks, have that break, and you do that for 2 years, or just depending on how long your major is, the program for your major is, which mine is 2 years. That's why I'm on break right now. I'm just on my first break from school after my first 10 weeks, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So first of all, what am I even gonna talk about first? I guess the living situation. So I did do student housing. My school, by the way, my school's like an art school. It's not a typical college. It's a smaller school. There's not Greek life. There's not really much of a social life. There's a lot of older students that go there. Everyone just kind of does their own thing. There's no, as I said, there's no sororities, fraternities. It's obviously mostly girls, but there is some guys. I think it's 90% girls, 10% guys around there. They don't have dorms, so they do have student housing. It's basically apartments that are units that are for student housing, and I decided to do that with my roommates. So I had 3 roommates this first quarter, and we wanted to do that I wanted to do that at least for the first quarter to, meet people that were going to be also in student housing, and just to be really close to school, and just to just because it's easy and we didn't have to find an apartment or somewhere to live prior to starting school. So we did student housing for the first 10 weeks, and honestly, it was fine. I don't think it was bad or anything, but I have moved now. I just moved. I live in a new apartment with Emily and Julian, who you guys probably know if you follow me on Twitter, and I did have another roommate, Yoonji, and honestly she was never in any videos because she really just was never home. She was always out doing things with her friends, and she just had a very busy social life, unlike us. We totally got along fine with her and everything, but she wants to stay in student housing. She's been in student housing for a while, and she wants to stay there, so she didn't want to move with us. And Emily, I did know before moving in. Obviously she's been one of my really good friends. I've known her through YouTube for 3 years or something now. I don't even know, maybe longer than that, probably 2-3 years. And then Julian, I didn't know prior to moving in, but Emily knew Julian not that well, but she knew her, and so I was totally fine with when Emily was can we request Julian? I was yeah, if you like her, I'm sure I'll like her. And I honestly love them both so much. My roommates are probably my favorite part of living in LA and just my whole college experience so far, because they're just so nice, funny, entertaining to live with, just basically really great friends. So I got really lucky with my roommate situation. I couldn't be happier, honestly. So I'm so happy that me, Emily, and Julian are having our new apartment now, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that's my whole living situation. Oh, but why didn't even talk about this. I've talked about this in vlogs, so I feel like I've talked about it, but basically the reason why we did move out of student housing was because it was overpriced for what we were getting. I mean, it was a nice apartment style living, but it just wasn't nice for what we were paying. It's pretty much the student housing units in my apartment building were the oldest and the kind of the ugliest units, and also we only got a twin size bed and half of a room, obviously a shared bathroom and shared living space and everything like that, and it really is a lot of money. That's why we decided, we could be spending this money and having the same amount of money and having such a nicer place and having our own rooms. So that's what we decided to do. That's why we decided to move out. But I definitely don't like not recommend student housing. For me, it was good for the first quarter, and then I decided it was time to move on. So that's the whole deal with that. And as I said, my roommate situation, I love my roommate so much. We never fight, we never argue, anything like that. We're best friends, and I hang out with my roommates like all the time. Like they're like pretty much the only people I hang out with. And as for actual school now, I'll actually talk about school. So on the quarter system, you take a certain number of classes for just that quarter, and then after the 10 weeks is up, you switch and take new classes. So I personally really like it that way, because if I have a class that I hate, I don't have to take it a whole semester. I only am taking it for 10 weeks. So that's really good. And the thing about the quarter system is you go really fast because you're only in that class for 10 weeks rather than a semester, and you're kind of learning all the same information. It's just jam-packed into 10 weeks. So my classes were really fast-paced. I had quizzes like every single week. I had homework every single week. Well, for like most of my classes, I had tons of projects, midterms, and tests. I had a lot of stuff, but it was manageable for me though. It was definitely like hard, and harder than I expected, but it wasn't unmanageable for me, so that's good. People think my school is easy because it's like fashion school. It's not easy. You definitely still have work and things to do and a lot of stuff, and it's not an easy workload. You have all this stuff jam-packed into 10 weeks that you have to do, so it's definitely not easy. I don't like when people say that because you wouldn't know. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little defensive now. So the classes I took for the first quarter were just like kind of assigned to me for my major. I had the retail environment, marketing essentials, color and design theory, and survey of Western art 2. So kind of random. I don't get to start classes in my major until next summer. So like the second year of school, so that's kind of annoying. My classes this first year are not related to my major, but they're, still like stuff that I need to know. As for my classes, I really liked all of my teachers except one, and I didn't like not like this teacher. She was just kind of annoying, and I didn't really like her teaching style, but 3 out of 4 of my teachers I really liked and thought they were awesome teachers, so that's good. I only had 4 classes this quarter. You're supposed to have 5, but the other class I was supposed to take was college English or something, and I had taken college English in high school, so my credit transferred over for that, so that was amazing because I didn't think it was actually going to transfer over, and I thought I was going to have to take it again, but it did transfer over, so that was great. I didn't have to take that class again. So I took those 4 classes, and I don't know if I really had a favorite. I guess I would say probably like marketing essentials was my favorite because I feel like that was like the most interesting, but definitely my favorite work was for color and design theory. I showed in my vlogs a bunch of projects I did for that class, and like that's basically all we did was projects, and we had like 2 like quizzes or something. We like never, our homework was just to do those projects, so it was nice because it wasn't like writing and like memorizing information like for my other classes. As for how I like felt about school, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys right now. I came home from school to visit like my family and friends after 5 weeks of living in LA, and I wanted to quit. I thought I was going to drop out of school. I was 95% sure that I was going to drop out of school. And you might be like, whoa, Lindsay, why were you like that? It wasn't even that I didn't like school. It was just that I felt like it was not the right time for me. For me in the beginning, it was really difficult to manage things. I had a lot of stuff going on at first, and I could not find any time to film. I could not find time to do anything. I had no free time in the beginning except just going to school or doing school related things. I really had no free time. So that drove me nuts because I had been so used to having free time and having time to dedicate to YouTube. I thought I was gonna have to put YouTube on the back burner for 2 years, and that was the thing I loved most, so I didn't want to do that. I was just like, this is like not, it's not a waste of my time, but this isn't the time for me to be in school, and that's how I was feeling for pretty much the first 5 or 6 weeks of the quarter. And Emily felt the same way. I think she talked about this in her vlog. Me and her would talk about it. We always knew, we were like, we're gonna give it till the end of the quarter before we decide, but like we think we're gonna we think we don't like this and that we want to drop out. Honestly, that's how I felt. I told my parents, I was like, I really don't want to be in school right now. I just don't think it's the right time for me. And it was just a combination of things. It wasn't just that I didn't feel like it was the right time for me and that I didn't have time to dedicate to YouTube and things like that. It was really just that I didn't know that my major, they didn't tell us, this is something I will honestly say, my school did not tell us that we didn't get to start our beauty classes until the second year, until orientation is when we found that out. So I thought, you know, I'm going to be going right into my major, because that's like the big thing about FIDM is you go right into your major, which it is like shorter. Like other schools, you typically do 2 years of gen ed classes and then you start your major, and my school is 1 year pretty much of gen ed classes, or some of the other majors are already in classes relating to their majors, which is great. But my major isn't. You start the whole second year's beauty classes. So I was annoyed at that fact. I really thought I was gonna jump right into my major classes, and when I found out I wasn't, I was kind of like, okay, well this whole year is like a waste, and then next year is gonna be awesome, but like this whole year is gonna suck. So I just really pretty much had a negative mindset about it at first, and I don't know what changed my mind. As I told you guys, when I came home after 5 weeks, I told my parents, I told all my friends, I told everyone. I knew, I was literally 95% sure that I was going to drop out. And it's not that I wasn't gonna go back to school. It wasn't that I was just gonna be like a college dropout. I just wanted to not be in school at that point, and maybe like in a few years I would definitely like go if I feel like I needed to get my degree. So that's how I was feeling. But then literally right when I went back a few days later, I had just had this, like, I don't know the word for it, I had this just like phew, come over me, and I was just like, Lindsay, like, you really can manage this. You can do this. This is what really changed my mind. I realized that my school is the only school in the country that has my major, which is what I'm pretty sure I want to do, beauty industry, merchandising, and marketing. No other school in the country has that. There are similar programs at schools like in New York, but it's like more fashion oriented, and I decided I really wanted to focus on the beauty industry. So my school is the only school that has this major, and I'm not going to get this education and these classes anywhere else. And I feel like the classes I'm going to take next year and the classes I'm taking now honestly really are going to benefit me for my career later in life. And maybe right now I don't like see that yet, but I feel like when I do end up, you know, like having my career and everything, and once I get my degree, I feel like all those beauty classes that I take are really going to benefit me, because I was one of the lucky few students that was able to like take this major, because they don't have this major at normal colleges. Like, it's not a normal major. It's really, really specific. So I just thought about that, and I was like, so honestly, I think the classes will be so beneficial for me, and that it's worth it to just stick through this first year, even though this first year is general ed stuff and like kind of boring stuff. Like, my classes for this next quarter are so terrible. I'm honestly really dreading it. But I know that like when it's gonna go by fast, it's really not that much time. I only have 2 more quarters, and then I'll be starting my beauty classes. So it's like, that's only 20 more weeks. I've already been through 10 of it, and I can totally do this. So I had a change of heart. After that, I was completely dedicated to my work. I mean, I was always dedicated to my work, but I did end up getting good grades in all my classes, so I'm really happy about that. And I just changed my mind and decided to be positive about it instead of negative about it. I think that's so much what it was. I feel like it's very hard for a lot of people to adjust to college. It's such a drastic change. I moved from Georgia to living here my entire life in Georgia, going to school with the same people since kindergarten pretty much, to completely across the country in California, not knowing pretty much anyone. I knew people just from YouTube, basically. Moving and doing that, and just like not having anyone, not having my sister, who's my best friend, not having like my parents, which wasn't that much of an adjustment for me because I feel like I am and have always been very independent. Just completely doing that and like starting this whole new life. It was great, and I'm so happy I did it, but it was really difficult to adjust to, and I feel like so many people struggle with that. Even just going to college like 2 hours away, it's very much a struggle. So it was just such a big change in my life, and that's what I feel like was just hard for me. But I have completely adjusted now. I miss LA. I want to go home right now. I feel like it's my home now, and I love living there, and I love being in school. So, I mean, I don't love being in school, but I realize that it is the time for me to be in school and that I can do it. And yeah, I don't have as much time to dedicate to YouTube as I would like. You know, I do have like things to do, and I just have to make that extra time. So yeah, that's basically my vlog. This was a really long video, but I hope you guys liked it and got something out of it. And I hope you appreciate my honesty, because I feel like that is kind of how some people feel. I feel like it's how a lot of people feel, honestly. Like, obviously some people go into college and totally love it, but a lot of people go into college and at first it's just like really difficult and you kind of are just like, I don't know if this is for me, but then, you know, things change. So basically what I want you guys to get out of this video is, if you're gonna start school or something soon, you know, college, just give it time, or just anything really that you're not sure of, give it a little bit more time. And if something's honestly not making you happy and not benefiting your life and isn't going to benefit you in the future, cut it off. Don't do it. But if something is going to benefit you in the long run and you know that you can do it, then definitely stick with it and just give it more time, pretty much, because your mind might completely change. So that is what I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. And I guess maybe I'll do another update of, let me know if you want another update, one of these, after my next quarter, which I'll be home for Christmas break in December after my next quarter. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon in another vlog or another video very soon on this channel. Bye!